y'all rappers do all that capping in your caption. You the captain of capping. I'ma start saying, oh, y'all captain graduated from Cap University with that capping gone. Happy Earth Day, your birthday spent to the ground. Hey, pass me the ball, I'm finna jump in. A 2-2-3, I snuck the brownie in the function. For safety, of course, so you ain't know about my run-ins. Tag team matches, so you ain't know what to jump in. Stop playing. Shotty drop it like it's a hot pen. Locked in. Great posture, so I do not bend. Don't speak. Let the Cuban link do the whole speech.
We are here. We are here. Yes, Lord. We're here for yet another episode of the number one podcast on the planet Earth. Can I just be clear to my audience? On the planet Earth, that is the Unselfish Behavior Podcast. Why? Because we're unselfish with our gifts. Why? Because we're unselfish with the game. Why? Because we're unselfish with our stories, our authenticity. Let's be clear. We're clear with our stories. We're clear with our authenticity. This is the Unselfish Behavior Podcast, and they know us very well. Is that right, Jasper? They know how we do. They know what we do and how we do it and why we do it. Is that right, Jay? Yes, sir. Is that right, Queen? They understand? I do go by the name of King Q. They call me that for many things, but today they call me that for speaking to legends. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a legend in the building. We have a legend in the building. You've probably heard of greats in the past. You've never heard of one like this. The vibes are very different. The vibes are giving very overseas. I just went shopping at YSL. I just went shopping at Coach. I just went shopping at Chanel. I just went shopping at Gucci. I just flew in private right now. That's what the vibes are giving, y'all. We have a fashion designer, a fashion icon. Can I be clear?
Go ahead.
In the building. We have an entrepreneur in the building that is a master at it. Let's be clear. A master marketer, a designer, a singer. Let's not forget interior designer. There's multi-facets, multiple levels of design. This brother right here represents all things design, all things fashion, all things art, all things creativity. Y'all, are y'all following what I'm saying? It's a legendary day. Don't say nothing. The intro's still going. Don't say a goddamn thing. But we have a legend in the building, man. And honestly, all jokes aside, this has been a dear brother of mine since I was a young kid. Y'all know I don't sit with nobody unless I view them as legend, unless we all collectively can learn from them. And today is no different. We have a powerful story to share today. Without further ado, y'all please make some noise. Please, Unselfish, make some noise for the one and only Dell Porter Aka DunScot's in the building. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. How you feeling, my brother? How you feeling?
I'm feeling amazing.
Welcome to the dojo.
I mean, come on.
Welcome to the dojo.
Intro.
Welcome to the dojo. You like that intro? You like that intro? Understood. Welcome to the dojos, and cheers to being in the dojo. That's what we call it here at Unselfish Behavior Podcast, the dojo, because we do a lot of mental sparring in here. That's what we do. But real quick, before we jump into any mental sparring, any conversation, any questions, I do always like to allow each one of my guests to have the opportunity to look in that camera, let the people know who you are, what you do, and what you stand for.
My name is Anthony Porter. I am the owner of DunScot. .face on Instagram, but DunScot, it is a vegan skincare line for men. I do all things vegan. I eat vegan. I put the skincare on, and beyond that, I am always very aware of taking care of my mental health and being the best human being I can be on this planet. So that's what's going on with me.
Absolutely. He's a true extraterrestrial. Can we be clear? Mm-hmm. He's really different. You're not going to meet another like this guy right here. But just jumping straight to it, man, honestly, I haven't seen you, Dale, consistently at least. I have not seen my brother consistently for a few years. Mm-hmm. I just want to get a quick update. What's been going on in your life in the past, let's say 3 to 5 years? Okay, it's been quite some time. Let's be clear. Man. What's new with you? Last time I checked, you were living in LA. I know that you just recently moved. Talk a little bit about what the transition has been like for you over the past few years.
Yeah, during the pandemic, I had to move out of my place. I got the offer to move to Vegas with my cousin. Yep. And that was kind of, I was in between a rock and a hard place. So I was like, I got to go. I didn't want to go. My family, my friends are here. This is what I know. And I will tell you for the past, it's 3 years. April 15th was 3 years. Wow. And I needed to go there. I was forced to go there. It had nothing, I didn't want to go. the universe, and I was not connected at that point. So it said, hey, you got to go. And I mean, every experience I've had has helped me to grow and be a better person.
That's
so,
awesome, bro.
Yeah,
that's
awesome.
awesome.
What's been going on.
I'm really happy to hear that.
Yeah.
I know before you left LA, you were going through a transitional period in your life to where you were looking to really establish yourself just as a designer, as a person, more so than anything. And we'll get more into the story in a minute. But I remember when you were leaving, you were just kind of in a transitional phase in your life, trying to figure out what you wanted the next chapter to be. So it's beautiful that you figured that out, and now you're actually living it and being in it. You mentioned something that I want to jump into, which I'm very passionate about talking about. I feel like I don't talk about enough, and that's the ability to manifest things. Yes?
Yeah.
The ability to manifest things, the ability to call things to you. And I know that you're a big participant of, involving the universe. As you mentioned earlier, the universe guided you to Vegas, things of that nature. But just talk to me a little bit about what the process has been like for you in regards to your manifestation process over these past few years.
It's been sporadic, but that is what I've learned recently. My manifestations, well, here's the thing. They're always happening, regardless.
Every second.
But and the reason I just said sporadic is because the things that I want, I'm not able to do them so well because I'm always in doubt. So I'm always manifesting, but I'm manifesting the doubt. I'm manifesting the bad stuff all the time. And we do that so often. So I didn't have a clear idea of even how to manifest for good things, the great things that I want in my life. And through a lot of reading and a lot of meditating and writing in my journal, that's when I learned how to manifest. So if you I have the time to go through that, I can, but
absolutely,
unless you want to ask another question.
No, please,
okay.
Flow.
So my thing was, what I learned is I'm reading these books. I think I started with not Rich Dad Poor Dad. What's the other book called?
Think and Grow Rich.
Think and Grow Rich is what I started with, because I'm like, I need some money. I'm not doing what I'm all of that stuff. And of course, you read the book.
We've got it right here.
And there you go.
Yeah,
there you go. So it's if you've read it, you know that it's not about money
at all.
It's talking about your mindset
at all. That book is 100% mindset.
I didn't know that going in.
Me neither.
So I'm reading this, and I have the hard.
I thought that was a get money book. Like,
right?
Not at all.
So I have the I'm saying hard shell, but you know what I'm talking about. I had that book, and it's thick and everything, and I'm reading it every day, and I'm like, it started messing me up mentally. I'm just like, yo. Anyway, I finished it. I've read 3 other books. I'm like, I need to keep down this path of my mental exercise, but I want to hear other things because it's still not really there yet. Anyway.
No, seriously.
All that being said, I really sat with myself and I said, you know what? I've been going around saying, oh, I have it, but I didn't believe it. I'm just hearing that's what I'm supposed to say.
Yeah. It's routine to say it.
You're supposed to say it.
You're supposed to say it.
And I'm just like, but then I kept going and I kept going. I kept meditating and kept writing and kept understanding things every day. I was having epiphanies every day. And so I finally was like, oh my God, I am, which is a great word. We'll come back to
Absolutely.
that. But I am connected to source, right? And I'm like, so this, about a day ago, I finally understood. I had this this idea. If you have this house that we're in, and there is an electrical box, that is source. And if you want to go and turn on a light in your house or open the refrigerator and have the light come on, you're asking source to do something by opening the door or flipping the switch to the on button.
Wow, absolutely.
You're making a request and you're expecting it to happen. You don't doubt it. You know it's going to come on.
You know it's done.
It's already done. And I was like, once I had that idea, because I really needed to cement it for me, because I was a maintenance man. So that's how it worked for me. And I was like, oh, the energy's already there. Everything's already there. It's just in the off position. As soon as you flick it on, it's It's you already have it. It's already there. You just got to believe, and you flip it on you, and you walk away, and it's there.
Absolutely. You know what a beautiful way I would put it? Very similar to what you just said. There is this, for me, when it comes to manifestation, there's this overwhelming feeling. I call it the knowing. Like you just said, you know it's going to connect and the light's going to come on. There is this overwhelming feeling of knowingness that overflows in my heart and in my body and in my mind that brings over an unexplainable feeling. Really, it's really a supernatural feeling when you think about it. There's this supernatural feeling that comes over you when you truly know you're on the path of manifestation that feels so calm, so peaceful, so connected, so grounded in that knowing that there's no other thoughts attached to it. There is no doubt. There is no anxiety. So you bring up a great point, and you beautifully broke that down. But I just wanted to add that. I mean, you're absolutely right.
But I think different examples work for different people.
100%.
That's just what. That's why the house thing just happened to resonate.
Yeah.
Because in the books it had other examples, but they didn't necessarily gravitate towards me. But once I did that, I was like, oh, got it.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
And I wanted to say about that energy thing that you just said. It feels, for me, all of those things you said, but it also feels very clean. It feels clean and open and bright. And I'm like, I haven't felt all of these feelings from my entire life.
Wow.
I'm always negative and doubting myself and doubting others and not trusting and blah, blah, blah. And I realized, oh, I'm addicted to feeling bad. I didn't know I was addicted to that.
Wow.
I didn't know. So it's like anytime something good would happen, I'm like, okay, but this is going to happen. This is going to come up. I have to throw that negative thing in there because I'm addicted to that feeling. And that once I realized that, I was like, oh no, I got to turn this around immediately. I can't do this. It's been the most life-changing thing, that and forgiving everybody.
Can you say that last piece again?
Forgiving everybody. Mama, daddy, cousin, brother, sister, workmate, boss.
Baby daddy, baby mama.
It doesn't, and I don't mean like on a surface level. I mean, I sat on the bench in my courtyard and I said each person's name. Bruh, from 10 years back that I was holding on to, and I said their name and I said, I love you. I said, I'm sending you love. I'm sending you peace, whatever, light, all of that stuff, because I wanted the universe to know. I wanted me to know I'm releasing all of this. Our only job here as humans is to love each other. You don't get to hate nobody. You don't get to be mad. You better let it go because you will not be blessed. It doesn't work. Sorry, that's all I had to say.
Why are you apologizing for something that's called unselfish? I'm just confused.
Hey, I just had to I had to say it.
Sir. You know what a part of your trauma is that we relate to? Being told that we overspeak.
Yeah.
Being told that we overtalk.
Yeah.
We've always shared that in common. We stop ourselves midway through and apologize for no fucking reason at all. Trauma.
Because it's like, am I talking
Nigga, if
too
you
much?
don't shut the fuck up and keep talking, what is you talking about? You on
But
Unselfish
yeah.
Behavior Podcast. You came
Yeah.
here because you are our guest of honor.
Yeah.
We want to hear everything
receive it.
you have to say.
I received
I'm
it.
quiet as a church mouse and I ain't never been to one. You understand? Shit. I'm learning. We are learning. I'm speaking for the audience. They're saying, thank you so much, King Q, for telling him that. We were so into his story just now.
Yeah.
Please continue.
There's more. But no, go ahead and ask your question. There's always more.
Jesus Christ. I mean, I'm sitting here as the student like, yo, you are saying it in a way that I've always wanted to say it, but I've not always had the confidence to know that someone's going to understand this in the way that I'm going to explain it.
Right.
You just said it exactly the way I feel it.
Sure. Yeah.
That's my experience internally.
Sure.
That it's hard for me to communicate to people.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So, just staying a little bit on the topic of manifestation, we talked about, the process. No, I'm sorry, not specifically the process, but the ability to do it. Talk to me a little bit about what are some specific things since the last time I've seen you that you've called into existence, and tell me what that process was like for you. I want to know specific things. I like detailed, juicy stories. Hello. You understand?
Man, which one will I give you? Because there's been several things that have happened. This is it's a silly story, but it's also really powerful to me. The Lovers and Friends just came up in Las Vegas, and I had two friends coming down to the concert. One of them couldn't come because she had some other engagement she had to be at. So my friend asked me, she said, hey, would you be able to buy the tickets? Do you want to go? They were $800. And I'm like, bruh, I'm on unemployment right now. Like, I'm doing my business. I'm collecting, my funds, and I'm not prepared to give that. So time moved on, a month moved on, and she hit me back up again, my friend, a month late. This is like a week before the concert. And she's like, hey, can you pick me up from the airport? Can I leave my bags with you? I'm going to go to the concert, blah, blah, blah. And you could drop me off in the morning. I live super close to everything. So I was like, yeah, this is my 20-year plus friend. So she's like, are you sure you don't want to go? She's trying to sell the tickets. And I was like, no, I can't afford, I'm not in that space right now.
I don't have it.
I don't have it. I'm sitting out on the balcony. I had just got finished reading and journaling. Okay? I don't talk to anybody until I do that. I don't connect with anybody on the planet until I've done my stuff. I don't.
I understand fully. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please.
This is the
Dale
thing
said,
for me.
I do not wake up and not allow, but expect people to contact me. Not after I drank my coffee.
They do.
Not that.
But I'm just.
I'm not answering nothing.
No, you're not. Because
until I've journaled. I love that. I absolutely love that.
I'm not spiritual yet.
I'm
not. I haven't reached that point yet. I need to. So.
Holy shit.
So.
I understand.
So.
Continue. I'm not spiritual yet.
I haven't reached that point yet.
I understand.
So yeah, I just woke up. I stink. Like my breath. It's a lot of things going on. So.
Holy shit.
So.
Oh boy.
Anyway, we're talking after, because I reached out to her immediately after we did this. So I told you all of that part of the story, and then we get off the phone. And I'm like, man, that would have been cool to go to that concert, blah, blah, blah. But, I ain't got it. But I'm like, I've seen some of them artists before, whatever. So I'm talking it down. I didn't really like it, right?
Right.
So I'm sitting there, and I said, I just read this book. And, right. So I'm like, no, say what you want. You're lying to yourself right now. You're not even being honest with yourself. You want to go see Janet Jackson and Brandy and SWV and all of these shenanigans. You want to get dressed up. You want to go do all of. You already know. So I said, I said the back of the. I said, eternal bank. You have everything I need. I'm abundant. Everything is always working out for me. I would absolutely love to go to this concert. I want to go to this concert, right? So I said that, and I said, and I release it to you. Wow. Because you got to say it, and then you have to release it. You are no longer in control of it. And so wow. I did that. I released it. And then 30 minutes later, my friend texts me that I had to go pick up from the airport a week later to get, to take her to the concert. And she sends me a text from her friend who was trying to sell her $800 ticket. And she said, hey, I know Dale used to be a maintenance man. Maybe he could go to my grandmother's house for the weekend and do some maintenance work, and that will cover the ticket, the price of the ticket. And I sit there and I was like, what is this? What? this is like something I didn't even think of happening. I wasn't given the money. I wasn't given $800. I was just given this thing that I can do. I have tons of tools in my closet. I have a whole tool bag. I still know how to do the work. I'm like, yeah, I would go. To go see all of these people? Yeah, I don't mind doing that for you. And that kind of stuff never happens for me because I'm always very negative. And to be able to just say what I actually want and then let it go and then it show up immediately. This was not a day. This was 30 minutes. This wasn't a week later. This was 30 minutes later. And 3 things happened like that day. I wrote them in my journal the next day. Things kept showing up like that. And I'm like, okay, I know what it is to be connected. I need to practice this more, though, because doubt still shows up sometimes.
Absolutely. I'm going to ask this real quick. Sorry to interrupt, but I'm thinking to myself, isn't it interesting how when it's time for whatever you all connect with out there, we'll just say universe for the sake of the conversation. But isn't it interesting how when you are actively asking for something from the universe and you practice that energy that we spoke about earlier, that knowing, that calmness, that knowing, being grounded in that, isn't it interesting how when you just said what you do, right? You just let go. You were just, you decided that I'm just going to let go.
Yeah.
However it comes, it's going to come. And then 9 chances out of 10, I'll even go as far as to saying 10 chances out of 10, the way that it actually happens is not even something you thought about.
You can never think of it. It's
I need
crazy.
people to realize that.
Yeah.
Because there's people that's stressed out right now, blaming their inability to manifest, blaming God, blaming the universe, blaming people, blaming events of happening without realizing the chaos is caused by you.
It's all you. And I forgot. So this is what I think the 3 things are. I think it is, first of all, and I kind of said it, but the first thing is being brutally honest with yourself. Because anytime...
Can you say that again?
Being brutally honest with yourself. Saying it out loud. Saying it what I want. Doing the ask. Have the ask. And then let it go, right? So to me, those are what the 3 things are. But I want to go back to being honest with yourself. What I learned... Because I can tell when people are lying to me.
Same here.
I've known it.
I tell my queen that all the time. I read body language like a master.
Sure.
I could look in somebody's eyes and be like, this motherfucker full of shit.
You're lying.
I literally sit across from people that I interview on this podcast that I can look at like this.
Really?
And they just sharing a story or sharing an experience, and I'm sitting here saying in my head, you're absolutely full of shit.
You're lying.
Is that a gift? Because some people,
it is.
I'm just going to be 100.
It is.
Some people will try to play you and act like, oh, no, that's just you creating a story.
Yeah, right.
You can't read my energy. That's just you creating a story. That's just you saying that. That's just how. Have you experienced that aspect of it?
No.
Okay.
You read it in a different way
I'm saying
than me.
have people read your ability to read them in a way that makes them feel like you just bullshit and you can't really read me? For example, if you're telling me you can read my energy and something's off,
you can't do that with me.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, beautiful.
No.
Right? Try to play you like you're not feeling what you feel.
They might try, but it doesn't work for more than like 2 seconds.
Got you.
Like, I'm not going for that. So what I was going to say about that, for me, because the way you read is a little different.
Yeah. The
way I read lies is, if you're talking to me and in my ear it sounds confusing, if your story sounds like, what is he talking about? Then I'm like, oh, they're lying. That's how I've always been able to know. And then I start asking questions. And then the whole story gets deconstructed, and I'm like, oh, well, then there's the truth right there. They didn't want to give me that. So anyway, all of that to say, only recently, because I've been doing that for years, but only recently did I understand that same thing works for me. And so now I'm just like, if I'm ever confused about something, or if I feel like I have to call people and ask them questions about what I should do next, or you know, just all of this stuff, I'm just like, oh, I'm lying to myself about whatever this situation is. Because if I feel like I have to talk to somebody or blah, 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 that's not where it is. Everybody on the planet has the answer right here in their heart, in their body. If you just sit there, that's why you always hear that thing of be still. Just take a minute. You're all upset and you all mad. No. We don't need to do that. Be still. And I sit there and I'm like, okay, what's going on? I scan my body mentally and I'm like, is there anything I feel in anywhere? I won't get up. That when I meditate in the morning, I don't get up until I've scanned every part of my body and make sure there's nothing weird in there with my feelings. And I'm like, okay, I'm not mad at no one. Okay, cool. And then I go. So that's all going back to being honest with yourself. If you are ever feeling confused, oh, what does he want me to do? I don't know. My boyfriend, you know what to do, baby. Put him out your house. Yeah. You don't need to be with him. You look crazy because you already know the answer. Why don't you want to have a peaceful life? Well, because you're addicted to feeling bad. And that's what takes me back to that.
Addicted to pain.
You're addicted to it.
Addicted to pain. A lot of people don't realize that you can be trauma bonded with somebody. I learned that from my therapist, Dr. Bryant. Shout out to the great Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. But she mentioned that to me at some point in my relationship. I think that what initially attracted you guys, Quentin, was the fact that you guys were trauma bonded. Your trauma, Quentin, says that you're unworthy. Her trauma says that she's abandoned. She said those two traumas dance very well together. They complement each other. So then we had to reevaluate our relationship and really dig deep and ask ourselves, what are we actually here for? And once we found that answer, it's been smooth sailing. And so I feel like, you know, this goes to the conversation of doing the work too. Dell, I spoke to my dear sister Law Speaks Volume about this, and I'm very passionate about talking about this because, as I mentioned to her, how surface level is this world? Let's be clear. We're really about to go there. Y'all ready? Y'all ready?
Go ahead.
We're about to go there.
You know I'm.
And they know when King Q says that it's something big is coming, and I'm not fucking around no more. Surface level shit done. Excuse me. We got real problems out here we're going through. We're not fucking around. It's the #1 podcast for a reason, not a season, and please believe him when he says that. But I firmly believe that we live in an extremely surface level world. Meaning that the things that we see specifically on social media, let's keep it simple for the people, it makes it seem like everybody you meet is extremely replaceable. They don't want to talk about that. Let's talk about it. People treating other people like they're disposable, like they're tissue paper.
Yeah.
Like they can just use them and throw them away and get another one. I did a workshop today with a dear sister. I won't disclose her name because she's a student. But we did an icebreaker game today to where I threw a red ball at each individual in the workshop. I told you earlier I presented at a high school today, Antelope Valley High School. Yeah. And I had this red squishy ball. And so the icebreaker game that I came up with was, I want to not only focus on mental aspects of their health and healing, but I want to focus on the social disconnect that this world has. We live in a world, Dale, as you know very clear from experience, that everyone out here in 2024, for the most part, feels extremely disconnected from each other.
Sure.
Nobody's willing to understand a perspective that's not theirs. So I throw the red ball at each student earlier in the workshop, and when I throw the ball at them, I have to say their name. So I'll say, what is your name?
Anthony.
And I'll have the ball in my hand, and I'll say, Anthony. You'll catch the ball. Anthony then has to throw it to another individual in the room of 40 kids that he knows their name. Do not throw it to anybody whose name you do not know. The first girl that went, I will not disclose her name. I was almost going to do that just now. Let's be clear. It almost slipped right off the tongue there. But the first sister that I called on, this young black girl, reminded me of my oldest daughter, Delilah. I said, I'm going to pick on the people to go first that look like they want to participate the least. Yeah. So I'm looking for the ones with their hands in their pockets and their heads in their phones, y'all. Yeah. I'm coming for you. What they all start doing, sitting up straight. Coach Q ain't fucking around. He do this. And there's this young girl, to our point that we were just discussing. This all correlates with each other. The disconnect socially. The internal dialogue that we have with ourselves that tell us we're not worthy and able to do things that are actually extremely simple at times. Yes? I go to this dear sister and I say, I'm calling on you first. What's your name? She shares her name to me. I say her name out loud, and before I throw her the ball, she says, wait, stop. Young black girl. I said, what's going on? She says to me, don't throw me the ball. I'm not going to catch it. I say, this is called the game of what? They all say the game of life. It was called the game of life.
Okay.
I said, how you show up in this game, I guarantee you is how you show up in life.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you show up in life like this. So we got kids in here that's ready and excited. Let's go. Can't wait till the ball is coming my way. We got kids in here like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got kids in here like this, and their phones have no idea what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm not going to adjust anybody's behavior because this is the game of what? The game of life. How you show up in this game is how you show up in life. I took that opportunity to coach her in front of her peers. And I asked her name, and I said, what's your name again? I said, wasn't you the first hand that went up earlier when I asked y'all when y'all came in where all my leaders at? You was the first hand that went up. You're counting yourself out before you even tried.
Yeah.
You talk about powerful.
Yeah.
The girl is all eyes on me. She's standing up. She's got that look in her eye like he's speaking to something in me.
Yeah.
Oh, I see you.
Yeah.
You a strong and powerful leader. Why am I reaffirming who she is? Why am I teaching her this lesson? Because we can become adults 33 years old, 97 years old like Dell. Feel me, Jasper? Jasper, Dell is 97 years old. He is literally a dinosaur. I'm talking to my first prehistoric dinosaur. He's a T-Rex.
It's only 1979, bruh. Okay, it's only 1979. God,
that's my dog. But honestly, just honest to God though, y'all know I'm a fool. But just bringing it back to that lesson and correlating it to what you just said regarding the internal dialogue that we have with ourselves. What did I help them to realize earlier? Or at least I hope I did to some of them, at least most of them, at least it felt like, is that your behavior in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s comes from your behavior as a teenager. You have the ability to change it, shift it, and mold it. But if no one's telling you that behavior is damaging, you telling yourself that you can't catch a ball before he even threw it to you? That girl was the first one that signed up for the youth ambassadorship earlier. First one in my line. She was the first one I recruited today. She came in my line and she said, I just want to thank you because you really taught me a valuable lesson today about life. And she said, I literally do that with everything in my life. And she's 16. She got the lesson at 6. Can you imagine if you would have got that lesson at 16? Can you imagine?
I would be, I'd be flying through the sky. I'm going to tell you now, that's so funny that you just said that right at the end, because one of my sayings to people is how you do one thing is how you do everything. And that was the lesson. Like, I just keep saying this to people because they keep showing up the same way. And I'm like, well, it's because you keep doing the same thing. The same thing you do at work is the same thing you do at home. It's the same thing you do with your friends. And it's all the same. And that's why you keep having the same experience.
Absolutely. Well, let's get into it then.
How
about since you just segued there, how about you take a sip and we get the fuck into it right now? For those of you who don't know, as we hold on,
the podcast is over. We're done.
Knows it's coming now.
The time's up. Is
Dell
it over?
knows
it's a podcast.
Is shifting.
It's a podcast.
He
over.
just felt that shift. Correct. Time to enter the deep zone, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Unselfish Behavior Podcast. The podcast is just starting. Right now. we're going to just jump right into it because it's been real cute and soft and sweet up to this point. Now it's going to get dark. It's going to get dark now. I've been knowing Dell since I was a kid. Dell was born and raised just like me as a Jehovah's Witness. You guys are very familiar. Why did your lip just do that? Why are you acting confused? Was that not you in the Kingdom Hall?
Go ahead with your
Dell,
intro.
Dell. I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness with my dear brother Dell. He's very close to my family and my siblings and my mom and everybody. And ever since I've known Dell, ever since I first met him, even when I was a kid, from when I can first remember shaking his hand and introducing myself, since the first time I seen him with one of them fancy ass checkered suits on with a bow tie sitting in the back by himself, I knew he was gay.
I just knew where this was leading to, and I'm devastated. I'm devastated. I'm devastated.
Hey, yo, Dale. Holy shit, I am crying right now. Literally crying real tears. Oh, God, I've known Dale since 1928. This nigga. Okay, but let's just get back to the point. But no, honest to God, I got to reel myself back in sometime. Unselfish, please forgive me. Please forgive me. I got to reel myself in sometime.
I need a break.
But Dale, Dale has always just been one of them guys to where it's like, you're too clean.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
You're too clean.
And we're going to get into that too, but go ahead with your thing.
But honestly, you know, Dale, and I say this jokingly,
yeah.
but God, I got to reel myself back in.
Yeah.
I say this jokingly, but it's a very big deal to share this, what we're going into right now on Unselfish Behavior Podcast. You have to understand that.
Yeah.
Dale, I remember, just reeling us back a little bit, I remember 2017, 18, when you went to Insight One.
Was it not earlier than that? Was it
2016?
No, but
No,
it
you
could
went in like 2017.
It could have been just early in the
Yeah.
year, but yes.
I want to
yes.
say, yeah, you went 2017.
Yeah.
I think you went 2017.
Sure, yeah.
And there was something that you really, and Insight is a seminar series that me and you did.
Mm-hmm.
My sister did.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of my family members did. A lot of my friends have done.
Mm-hmm.
Huge transformation and growth and healing.
Yeah.
But I remember when you went, I facilitated at yours, and there was something that you really wanted to just get off your chest. Why are you laughing?
Go ahead.
I'm trying to be serious. You're laughing. What are you doing?
Because I'm devastated.
You're devastated.
I'm devastated.
It's a nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Just go ahead and spill it all. Golly.
It's important. Honest to God, it's important. You know what I'm going to name this episode? Living your true and authentic self.
Okay.
And now we really got to get serious.
Oh boy.
I'm passionate about that.
Go ahead, bro.
Because like I just told you, I just told the youth earlier, this is the game of life.
Mm-hmm.
You have to show up in the ways that you feel like you have to.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever don't like it, who gives a motherfuck? Who cares if somebody don't agree with? Who cares? This is how you feel led to show up. So I remember when you started the seminar, and just those initial conversations that you had with me, Calquise, shout out to Calquise, my big sister, my cousin Nene.
Mm-hmm.
This is your family as well.
Yeah.
And I just remember those early conversations and how fearful you were. I'll never forget how scared you were and how nervous you were to come out for the first time. And you were, how old were you back then? Like 48?
I'm going to get you. I'm going to find you after the podcast. I was...
He was 74. Getting back to the story.
36 or 7.
Dale, you do this to me all the time.
No,
bro.
that's your fault.
You just did it to me earlier. This is what Dale does
I'm
to me.
just relaxing.
But yes, my dear brother, you were in your late 30s. And you wanted to feel like you were living in your true and authentic self.
Sure.
How you truly, like, we knew who you were behind closed doors. We loved you for who you were. Still do. Like, we love Dale. Like, Dale is the always life of the party.
Yeah.
We know what the deal is. It's not a secret.
That's why Cook
Hang with him for 1 minute, and then it's like, okay, yeah, we understand. We understand. But just talk a little bit about what that process was like for you. And mind you, and I told you this before you came on the podcast.
Yeah.
Honestly, on all seriousness, I'm big on freeing people.
Yeah.
This podcast is different because I focus very intentionally on getting to spaces that people can heal from. There are people that are going through what you went through that still ain't came out. And they're older than you.
I know.
And that says a lot. Because you're 68.
Yeah. Sure, yeah. Yeah.
He's like, fuck this nigga. I hate him.
Like,
but I love him so much.
There's a
Jesus
lot of
Christ.
stuff happening, boy. There's a lot of, Go ahead and ask your little question.
But we talked about this. We talked about this on the phone, and we said this needs to be mentioned. We need to be free. You need to be able to really invigorate people with this story. And so just talk a little bit about what that process has been like for you in living your true and authentic self as a homosexual man that is very... Why are you laughing? Nigga?
You could have said
Are you not
gay.
are you
You
not-
didn't have to say
Well,
like
so this is
the
a- so what-
1972 version gay. Just say, don't say the homosexual. What? What does that mean?
I'm trying to do
You
this the
didn't-
right way.
You didn't have to
I'm trying to be respectful.
Do you want us to call you African Americans? No, we black. Like, why are you saying homosexuals? What? What does that mean? What does that mean?
Hey, yo. Are y'all hearing this? What the fuck is going on?
I'm
This
just,
nigga's insane.
I'm just.
Not the 1972 version, Dale.
I'm listening.
Dale,
to
I'm
you.
trying to say it as appropriate as possible.
But
I
I'm
understand what time we live in. I'm not trying to get fucking canceled.
Yo-
I'm trying to say it correctly.
Yo escucho. Like I hear you. I'm listening. You don't need to say 1972 version.
Let me ask it again, man. God damn.
Gay. Just say gay.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what's it been like for you, Dale, as
Yeah.
my dear big brother,
See.
that has come out and been openly gay?
Ooh. I came out when I was 37 at Insight.
Yep. I
In
remember.
front of what, 300 people
250, 260, something like
250?
that. Yep.
in the center of
Yep.
a stage, whatever. And that was my first, time saying it out loud. And I'll never forget the moderator on stage.
Is it David?
Sheesh.
Was it hell?
No, I think all three of them were
Yeah,
on
I think
stage.
so. Yeah, you had
But I think-
David and.
But David was talking to me, I believe. But anyway,
Anyway, it don't matter.
and I'm gonna make this quick because I'm gonna get to the next part. But I remember when I started it versus when I finished, he noticed that my standing was different, and I remember him saying that, and I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." And he asked the audience, he was like, have you watched how his the way he's standing is different? And everybody said, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. So I've always kept that with me from my life. But anyway, after that point, I was still going to my meetings and consistently.
What are meetings for people who don't know what that is?
They're like anybody. If
It's
you know
like
what
going to church.
is,
It's like going to church if you're a Jehovah's Witness.
Sure, yeah. So you go, you're getting spiritually upbuilt. That's
Right.
what you're going to do. And I was consistent with it. I believe at that point when I was still going, there were maybe 2 meetings a week or 3, something like that. But I was going. But I was having this conflict now because now that I've said it out loud to 250, 60, 70, 100 people, it was like the thing's been let out of the bag for me. And I'm like, okay, people can see me now. So now I'm like, okay, let me go on this journey of telling people. I got to say it because now I can't hold it anymore. The bag is about to break, So I went to my cousins and I told them, and they knew, of course they knew, and they just loved me and blah, blah, blah. And, then I started deciding to go to all of my friends who are still a part of this organization that that I've loved and been a part of for
Can
over
we say
40
what it is?
years.
'Cause this
You
is
said Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah, I want
So
them
Jehovah's
to
Witnesses.
understand, because a lot of times us as previous Jehovah's Witnesses, we use certain lingo like meetings or friends, and we
'Cause
expect they
that's
don't know
the
what the fuck
words.
that is. Friends are like niggas in the congregation, niggas in the fucking church. I just want them to be clear. Continue.
Sorry for that, but so told my friends and family, for the most part, the ones that I hung out with the most first, and then I started telling my my friends that were part of the congregation, and I went into mind you, at this point I know hundreds of people. Yeah, like lots. Like, I've been on every convention. Like, these are bigger than meetings, but these are conventions and assemblies. And I've been to our headquarters and lived there for 2.5 years. I know people all over the world, literally. And so now I'm going into this conversation of exposing my homosexualness.
Why did you use the 1972 version? You told me not to use the
I just felt like it was appropriate at that point. So I went into this conversation completely drunk with every person. Like, I had to drink, because for me mentally, I'm like, I'm about to lose this person. I had to go into it knowing that I was about to lose a friendship. Like, they weren't going to talk to me anymore. I wasn't being excommunicated or anything like that. It was just, I think they're going to stop talking to me. And that happened with 97% of the people, 98% of the people in my life. So imagine hundreds of people deciding on their own not to talk to you, because I'm no longer coming to the, or not coming to the meetings. I'm gay. Just because I'm gay, or I've grown a beard, which was not okay at the present moment at that time in 2017. And so these people just, literally, I lost people after people. And it's like, so I went into these conversations drunk, because I'm a lose them, and I'm just like, I need to numb it. And so and that's what I did. And it just what I thought would happen. And the very last people were my parents. And so that was the scariest one, because I'm like, they could literally do the same thing. That's all I'm thinking. And so I wrote a 4 to 6 page letter, because I wanted to type it out so that they would always have it. I didn't want to just call them on the phone and tell them, because this was a big deal. I've lived at that point, 37 years of my life a part of this organization, and I just wanted them to have it. So anyway, wrote the letter, had my cousin read it, had another person read it, just to make sure it was super clear. All the words are perfect. Like, I don't want nobody getting hung up on no words. Like, just hear the message. Wrote it, sent it at 2 a.m. My family lives 3 hours ahead of me, so I knew they wouldn't get it. They'd be asleep. And then I turned that phone off, and I went to sleep. I woke up about 10, 11 in the morning. I walked to the liquor store down the street, 10, 11 in the morning.
Wow.
And I bought a bottle of wine. I came back up, and I started drinking. I don't even know if I got a cup. I just started drinking it, because I'm like, I'm going to have to turn my phone back on, and I'm going to have calls and or texts from my parents. So I turn I'm feeling the buzz now. I'm like, okay, cool. And I turn my phone back on, and of course, the messages, the missed calls start coming through, tons of them. And I'm like, okay, bruh, you feeling tipsy? Like, go ahead and call, because you know what's going to happen. And so I call them, or I see a message from my mom saying, please call me. It's just like, it's very, desperate, call me. And I called her, and basically the gist of that call is they loved me anyway. They never stopped, talking to me or anything. Everything I thought did not happen. We eventually had some, there was some contention somewhere down the line, because still they would want me to be a part of this thing that I've been a part of forever. But that day, they just told me that they loved me. I'm their son. And it was a loving experience. I am completely grateful, because it could have went totally different. But after that, it freed me, because until I told them, I was in jail mentally. I couldn't fully be me. I couldn't fully be free. It's like sitting in a jail cell, and there's no guards, there's no people there, the door's open, you could walk out, but you're just sitting there punishing yourself. And that's what I felt like until I told them. So I was like, I have to walk out of this jail cell and go be in the city.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah.
So after you told your parents, what was that experience like after that for you? Did you still feel like there was still a little bit left, that, maybe there was that cousin or maybe that best friend that you didn't tell, that there was still a little bit of resistance left outside of the parents, or did you feel fully free after the parents?
No, I was fully free.
Yeah.
And I mean, there was probably a person or two,
right,
but
nothing as big as the parents.
Nothing as big, nothing ever. And it's like, I'm just like, okay, whoever else, if you don't accept me and my parents just did.
Yeah. Who gives a fuck?
What? I can't help you.
Yeah.
And also, I realized, I'm like, look, Jehovah God, the universe, source, whatever you want to call him, is waking Anthony Dell Porter up every day. He does not have to. Simply does not have to. He gives me life and me energy every day. If my parents love me and this infinite being loves me, you gotta buy. Now buy.
Yeah.
Now I can say that I'm not forcing anything with anybody.
Right.
I mean, when I tell you I have the most love for all of these people
I'm
to
aware.
this day, but also with that, simultaneously, you do not animate this fleshly body that I'm in. You don't make my organs pump, my heart. You don't work this.
Yeah.
So that's done for me. Me being worried about what you think has no relevance up over here. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
And for me, it's powerful what you're saying, because you're speaking for somebody out there right now.
Sure.
I'm sure of it. I'm sure at least one individual is going to see this and say, damn, I needed that. I needed that story.
Yeah.
That's why I told you it's powerful to share. You're sharing a story that, yes, is yours, that you're owning, but you're owning it in order to free somebody else.
Yeah.
And that's the power in that. I want to talk a little bit about the disconnect between heterosexual men, specifically black men, heterosexual black men like myself, and then homosexual black men, the 1972 version. Let me be clear. There's a disconnect.
Okay, which
societal wise, to where heterosexual men are typically not comfortable hanging around and or saying that they have a homosexual friend or family member or both, like we are. We're friends and family. You really my big brother. You know, you've taught me a lot of things in life. About life. Yeah. And I really value our friendship. I truly value our brotherhood. You know how much I value this brotherhood. You understand? And whether we talk every day, whether we hang every day, we know what the love is. We know that it's connected and rooted in family. Yeah. You understand that? So this is a phone that you can always call. That's a phone I can always call. Yeah. I don't feel uncomfortable around my big brother. Yeah.
Yeah.
My big brother is not walking around making me feel like he hitting on me or da 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 da. And I feel like that's where the disconnect comes from when it comes to heterosexual straight men
Right.
with homosexual men.
Right.
I feel like there is a distrust and or, just speak to this if you felt this as well, and or an potentially an over-sexualization of the homosexual man. I'm saying it like they're a species.
No,
I have love for you, motherfuckers.
I'm not
I'm just letting y'all know.
laughing.
But I'm just saying it the best way I know how.
No, you said it.
Am I
perfectly.
correct? Am I tripping?
I'm laughing because of how accurate it
Okay,
is.
okay.
That's what the laughter's for.
I'm saying it well, right, Jasper?
Yeah.
Fucking Malaysian motherfucker.
Yeah.
I love that nigga, man.
He
God
said
damn it.
that. He said, yeah.
We're going to DR. All right, continue. Yes, please speak to that. Honest to God.
So
Speak to that.
So your question to me
My
is,
question to you is speak a little bit to the disparity, the disconnect between heterosexual men and homosexual men. Men that identify with being straight opposed to men who identify with being gay. Is there a disconnect? Have you experienced that? Like straight dudes act kind of weird around you to where it's like, I got love for you, but I ain't gonna show you true love. What's kind of been your experience when it comes to having straight homeboys or people that you hang out with?
You know, that's a really good question. I believe before I became the person I am today, sure, there was a lot of disconnect. People loved me,
Of course.
you know,
Of course.
but some of it would be real, some of it would be fake. And now being this version of me today realizes that because I was not in my full truth with myself, love of myself, clarity of who I am, when you don't have those things, when you're thinking about that all day or it's in your subconscious, that's what you feed out into the universe. Those are the manifestations I'm talking about. So if you're not clear with yourself and not loving yourself and not doing all of those things, those are the things that show up. So I'm only getting a reflection of who I am inside. So if any one of these men, straight men, were showing up for me in a strange way, it's because I was feeling a strange way. The universe is, it's like, if I'm feeling strange, oh, here's more strangeness.
It's going to give you
Oh,
more
I
of what
love
you're
it.
feeling.
More
Yeah.
strangeness.
You're manifesting what you're
Yeah.
feeling.
Oh, you're feeling weird? More
More
weirdness.
weirdness.
Yep. It's always giving you what
more
you
anxious,
want.
more anxiety.
That's
Yeah.
that's the whole point.
Yeah.
It's always saying yes. It's always saying yes. Yes, you have more of that. So, yes, I was experiencing all of those things. There was a disparity, but the disparity was within me. I was the disparity. Sure.
Powerful.
So every gay man, every straight man that is feeling a disparity
Yeah.
with the opposite, not sex, but
Preference, I guess.
preference,
Yep.
sexual preference. It's because that's what you're feeling on your own. The
Yeah.
People are just mirroring
Reflections.
you. That's all they're doing.
Yep.
Every experience that you're having is going to keep showing up.
Yeah.
You mad every day, you're getting drama every day.
Everywhere.
Baby, it's going to happen. So now I'm at this point where I am in love with myself. And the reason, and this is not a cocky thing, and I
Of
want
course
to,
not.
like, I feel like you have to say this all the time, but it's not a
hate it.
cocky thing.
Yeah.
It's a thing of Jehovah God, source, the universe made me. I'm made in a wonderful way. By divine right, I should be pouring into myself whatever gifts I've been given, like this gift right here of Gab.
Yes, sir.
You've translated into all these things. Me with my fashion or home decor or whatever it is, that happens to be my gift. And so and I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to love this thing. I'm supposed to embrace it, because if I don't, then I am being disrespectful of God, the universe. All. You're supposed to do that. You're supposed to be in love with yourself in a healthy way, with love and ease and grace. That's what you're supposed to do.
I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more with that. And I feel like I've personally never understood, and you know this very well about me, I've personally never understood the discomfort that straight men get from being around gay men. I don't even understand why it exists. Because for me,
because they're thinking about it. Let's go there. Yeah. Be uncomfortable.
Be unselfish.
Nobody wants you.
Yeah.
Do you see me? I don't even want you. Nobody's looking over there.
She's enjoying it.
I mean, maybe you might have a little, some legs and stuff, but I might, but you do that too to women.
Of course.
You should feel uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Feel uncomfortable. Have a good day.
Yeah. I understand it, man. I understand, but for me, just especially hanging around this fucking goofball. He's a fucking idiot. I feel like this nigga's just an idiot in the best of ways.
I know.
He's a fool.
Yeah.
He's an uncensored ass nigga.
Yeah, sorry.
That's what he really is.
I'm
just an uncensored, free. Where are you from again?
I'm from the hood. Arlington and 24th.
Yeah, you from Arlington Heights? Not Arlington Heights.
It's Arlington Heights. Yeah.
/ Midtown.
Yeah,
you're like
it's
up the street.
Yeah,
you're on Crenshaw in Arlington.
Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah, I know where you're
Adams and all that.
Yep. But honest to God, man, I think this is an important conversation to have, and I'm happy I'm having it with you because, we've hung out one-on-one together and had the best of fucking times. Not 1 second for any day that we've ever hung out have I ever felt uncomfortable. I genuinely feel like I'm hanging with my big brother. Been knowing this nigga since I was a kid. And now, to people's credit, I understand that everybody doesn't have the luxury of knowing a gay man for as long as I've been knowing you.
True.
Like, we're talking when I was 10, 11, 12 years old. You see my big head ass in the Kingdom Hall. You understand what's going on. Singing songs out the fucking songbook. Let's be clear. Okay. Thank God I'm not there anymore. It was miserable.
Go ahead with
your
story.
Sorry. I use the Kingdom Hall for naps. Sorry. It's a great nap place. Amazing naps there. But honestly, I feel like there are some individuals who don't have the luxury of knowing a gay man for as long, or homosexual. What are you going to say?
No.
Okay, sorry.
I'm just thinking about what you're saying.
Knowing a gay man for as long as I've been knowing you, and again, I guess it's because I don't look at Dell and the first thing that comes to my head is gay man. I look at Dell and the first thing that comes to my head is big brother. This is Tariq vibes. This is Mike vibes. I've been knowing him since I've known them, since I was a little boy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I guess I have a different perspective on it. And you're the only gay man that I've known that I've actually, known in the family, a friend, somebody who I can actually identify as being a genuine friend, somebody who I speak to. And so, for you, but there's also, again, what do you say to the individuals who do have and when I say individuals, I'm talking to my straight brothers. What do you say to my straight brothers that have actually had consistent sexualized, threatening, uncomfortable situations with men who are gay, to where it's like, and I've talked to you about this before in regard, we've had these conversations many times just on a conversational level, but what do you say to the individuals that do overly sexualize gay men? You know what I'm saying? To where it's like, bro, women don't even switch like that. What are you doing? Just the over the top, make everybody around them that straight feel uncomfortable and guilty. Try to push it on everybody, push it on the kids, push it on politics. What do you think about the whole agenda behind, like, be gay, be lesbian,
right? Be
straight, be Christian, be Muslim,
right?
Be Catholic. Just because I'm a Catholic don't mean I want everybody to be a Catholic. I love you and respect you as a Catholic. I love you and respect you as a gay man. That don't mean my children got to watch it if I don't want them to. What do you say to stuff like that? Because we're going through that right now in society. Was that good?
I can't really speak to all of that because I don't know about all of it. But what I can speak to is the fact that, sure, I'm a gay man, but I'm also a classy individual.
Very much so. Very much so. Why did you just roll your eyes at me, nigga? What the fuck?
Because
I know you're classy. I am.
Said what I know. Yeah. So.
Nigga rolled his eyes at me for no reason at all. I did nothing.
I know. So, but there is a thing to having class. Like like I said, I was born in 1979. I grew up with old movies and parents who were, demure and just like, you're not showing everything. Classy. We didn't have Instagram. There's class. I grew up with the Cosby Show, even though that's canceled. But it's like, I grew up with watching a black family with several kids, and the dad's a doctor, the mom's a lawyer. Like, I grew up with class, not the Bad Girls Club or the Housewives or whatever. I don't know that. It's weird, and so all of that being said, I just like things should feel clean and easy. When it starts getting all jumbled, it's like this is not working. There is an agenda. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
Just
Anybody
educate your kids and keep it pushing.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Facts.
You take care of your house.
Yep.
You take care of your energy.
Yeah.
That's when things shift. You always just be centered. When you wake up in the morning, you be centered. Yeah. The world's going to be crazy outside of you. You be centered before you walk out there.
Yeah.
I think a lot of stuff is crazy. A lot of the heterosexual stuff is crazy.
It's probably
the Big Reds or what?
Yeah.
What's it? Is it Big Red?
Sexy
What's
Red?
her name? Oh Lord.
Jesus Christ.
So even with that stuff, it's disgusting for me. It's horrifying for me because it's like why is all of this stuff being shown?
Right.
I want to live in a space where there's just still class and you're anticipating something, but you're just being shown. It's shown on Instagram or the 7:00 news.
Right.
I don't need to see all of that, so I don't watch any of it.
Right.
I don't watch any of it because I need to stay at peace.
100%.
So for me, I don't even get into all of that. Whatever's stressful, I release it out of my life. I haven't watched the news in over 20 years.
Wow.
I turn it immediately. It's all to get you to feel bad,
draining your
energy.
energy.
To be sad, and to feel depressed and like you don't have enough.
Yeah.
I'm not into it, so I turn it off.
I personally haven't watched a news channel and sat and watched the news probably since I was in high school.
Sure.
And my mom's like addicted to it every time I go to her house. I'm like, why the fuck are you watching this? Literally, last time I was at her house, she's like, drive by here, bank robbery here. Like, why are you possibly sitting down watching this?
This is not
out of
fun.
all the things to watch.
This
is
fun.
depressing.
Yeah.
But just shifting gears a little bit because, we do drive a very, very fast car on this motherfucker called Unselfish Behavior Podcast, and we like to shift gears sometime. Let's shift gears because I think that, on the topic at hand and just speaking to what we spoke to, the point was made. We're clear on it. And let's just, you ready to shift? You ready?
I'm here with you, bro.
Michael
I'm in
Jackson
the car.
jacket ass.
I'm in the car.
That's a fly, nigga. Let's be clear.
From
Let's
the
be clear.
Zoo 90. No, it's like, they ain't paying us already. You can cut that out.
Shout out to
You
Paul.
can
Yeah,
cut
I
that
have to
out.
understand. They ain't paying you to shout him out. Fuck that. But real quick, I want to talk to you a little bit about DunScot Face.
Oh, boy,
I remember when you first made the brand, when you first made the company. I remember when it was an idea, actually. I remember when you were just making samples, not even making samples. I remember when you were trying to figure out what you wanted samples to look like. But now we've grown. Now we've arrived. DunScot Face is in the building. Is he not?
He's in the building.
Talk to the people a little bit about your brand, why you made it, and all the good stuff about it.
Gosh, I have been a vegetarian / vegan for about 28 years.
Okay.
I did not like eating meat. At 16 years old, I became a vegetarian. I was in college at 16.
Wow.
I was in a health class, and the teacher said to the whole class, hey, try to be a vegan for a week. See how it feels for you.
Really?
Yeah.
Off a challenge? And you just stuck to it. Nice.
So I did the challenge for a week, and I was like, oh, I like this. And I stuck with it, and my mom got mad. She's like, I'm cooking all this meat, and you ain't eating it. She was so mad at me.
Thanks.
But anyway, started there, and then fast forward to your sister living next to you.
Yep.
And she wanted to become vegan for a month.
I remember that.
I was already vegetarian, so all I had to cut out was cheese and eggs. And so we got into it, and then she was like, I think she had talked to another friend of hers, and she was like, hey, should we even be putting all these lotions on our body and blah, 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 because it has all these chemicals in it. And she was like, and I was like, no. So we started looking into the coconut oil. So that literally we started putting coconut oil on our skin.
Okay.
One weekend I went away. I left my coconut oil at home, and my friends had olive oil. That's all they had in their cabinet. So I put that on instead of the coconut oil, and I loved it. And I got back home, and I started mixing them to see what the consistency was like and putting it on my skin. And I was like, oh, this is dope. There's an oil place down the street from me on Crenshaw, Zam Zam. You got to cut that out too. But anyway, I went there.
Shameful plugs everywhere. I understand.
And so I started buying different oils and investigating them and trying them in the product. And after a while, I'm wearing them, and people started noticing. They were like, oh, your skin looks so nice, or it smells good, blah, blah, blah. And that's literally where it was born. 2019 is when I decided, or excuse me, the very end of 2018, I decided to start the line in January of 2019.
Nice.
And I called my boy, one of my best friends, and I was like, hey, I'm going to try this line out. I got 3 products. Let me put the product on you, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And you can test it out for a week. I'll leave some with you. And that was it. And I've never stopped. Now I have 30 products. It's all vegan. Like I said, I'm vegan. I eat that way. The products, I call it vegan because,
of course,
it's a great punchline thing. But it's handmade. And soap, deodorant, body oil, fragrances, everything.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's all I use.
Wow. Now, do you have it for men and women, or is it just for? It's for
both. I make it specifically for men. It's a men's skincare line.
Okay, men's skincare line. Got you.
But I did that too because men, for me, I would go into Target and I would always buy that doggone deodorant. And it was always smelling like a bear or a mountain or a forest or whatever, which is fine.
Right.
But I've always liked very soft floral fragrances. That's what I've always worn. So I was like, ooh, I'm going to base all of my stuff off of more light scent, women's fragrances. Really, honestly.
Got you.
And men have loved it. But I say it's for men because it really is. It's a whole bunch of women's stuff.
Right, of course.
And they love it, but everybody uses it. It's truly, honestly, unisex. Very, very honestly unisex. Nice. So even when the guys buy it, their girls or their wives, they all take it. The wives put it on their kids. Everything's natural, so nothing's going to mess you up.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's fire, bro.
Yeah.
That's fire. How can people find it? How can we support that brand, DunScot Face?
You can go to Instagram, DunScot.face, which is DUNSCOT.face. And also the website is dunscot.com. So DUNSCOT.com.
Perfect.
But yeah, Google it.
Hello. Let's be clear. You better Google DunScot Face. You understand the brother saying Google, and you have to understand what's going on. Unselfish. But no, man, this has been a powerful, rejuvenating, exciting, fun, funny, educational,
Man,
entertaining
man
roller coaster of a conversation.
Yes.
I have one more question for you before we get out of here.
Yes.
But you mentioned something that I just want to bring you back to just a little bit, not too much, but just a little bit, because I think it's important for people to understand. We briefly discussed our experiences as Jehovah's Witnesses when we were young.
Mm-hmm.
And as I've grown older, I've done a lot of research on the organization.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
A lot of research
Same.
on the organization.
Mm-hmm.
I
Same.
found out a lot of things.
Same.
I felt absolutely played, bamboozled, and hoodwinked. Let's just be clear. I'm not ashamed to say it. And I love all of my family members that are all currently Jehovah's Witnesses. I love, respect every last one of my family members. But for me, it just felt very manipulative.
Mm-hmm.
I started to find out a lot of things that were being preached about were not in the Bible.
Sure.
I started to find out all this stuff, not to bash the religion, but just speaking to our experience. I want other Jehovah's Witnesses out there that are maybe on the fence, maybe thinking, potentially even have left, thinking about going back, maybe thinking about what will be your message to that individual that's sitting in the Kingdom Hall that may not be dealing with specifically what you are dealing with, but that is dealing with something else, and they're kind of like, yo, I don't know how to present this to the brothers. I don't know how to present this to the. Why should they do it, and what confidence should they have in doing that?
What confidence should they have in presenting it to
elders, to whoever y'all gotta put a note in or a letter into? Why should they be confident that they should do that? Because for me, the reason I ask that is because the overall message that I've gotten from this sit down with you has been how free you've been since the first day that you came out and said, this is me. And I am not compromising myself for nobody, no organization, no place, no people, no friend. You said hundreds. You said hundreds of people.
I mean that.
There is somebody right now going through what you just freed yourself from. Why should they make the same decision is my question.
Why should they make the same decision as me? I don't believe anybody should ever make the same decision as me or anybody else.
Okay.
What I want anybody to do is to go inside, do your self-reflection, and say, and be honest with yourself, like we talked about earlier. Be honest with yourself. What do I really want? What do I really feel? Am I feeling bad? Am I feeling sick? Like, the way we feel manifests in our bodies. We get sick all the time.
Yep.
I don't get sick.
Hello. So
my point is, if you are feeling bad, if you're feeling anything, search inside your body and say, what is really right? If you feel like you need to step away, that's what you feel like you need to do. If you feel like you need to go talk to I want you to do what's going to make you feel good, because then when you walk away, you be like, okay, because you always want to feel uplifted when you walk away from something. Like, I'm going to feel uplifted when I walk away from this thing.
Absolutely.
I don't go places where I feel like I'm
low
in a
vibration.
Ditch,
yeah.
and I'm sad and I'm always if I'm complaining, something's wrong. What's wrong? So you better tap in with yourself, and you have to decide for yourself. So I cannot tell anybody, follow my path. You have to have your own journey, because every single person does. That's why there's all these conversations going around. Yeah. We're here to teach each other and learn from each other. We experience different things. So I just want everybody to make sure you feel good. Make sure you feel, if you're feeling bad, you better go away, sit with yourself, and figure out what's going to make you feel good.
Yeah.
If it's talking to the elders, go talk to them. If it is not talking to the elders, don't go. Stay at home and watch I Love Lucy then. Because that's what I would do.
Understood.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to do
what's best for you.
Because I want to know then your story.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's
Absolutely.
just not going to be the same. And that's the only reason I'm just like, I'm not trying to be all over the place, but I'm just like,
no, I feel you.
You better tap in with here, and then forget the religious thing.
Right.
You can do everything.
Correct.
Once you're tapped in, you can do everything because now you're connected to source.
Correct.
And that's infinite. So go ahead and do it, but you better tap the fuck in.
With that being said, I don't think I have to ask my brother for his unselfish message at the end. My brother Jasper, I think he just gave it. We have a segment at the end of each interview, Dale, to where we have each one of our guests look into this camera and leave them with a final message. I think you just did it without me asking you for it. You have to free yourself, listen to your intuition, guys, and make sure that you're putting yourself in a position to win for you and by you. With that being said, my dear brother, man, an absolute legendary fucking sit down. I couldn't be more happier in life than I am right now in this moment. I'm so honored that you came, bro.
Honored.
You know, this has been long overdue. This has been long overdue,
Yeah.
Dale. Long overdue,
It's been
bro.
long overdue.
And this was a legendary conversation, man.
Of
I just want to leave you
course.
with this. I love you. I'm
love
so
you.
proud of you, bro.
Thank you.
The growth has been absolutely real since
Yeah.
2000 and, our early days
17,
partying, me,
man.
you,
Oh,
Coquise,
oh.
Nene. You know what I mean? When you was in that moment of trying to move forward and didn't know how, it's beautiful to see you soaring right now. It's beautiful to experience your energy and to truly feel how free you finally are. And we're free not just for ourselves, but for others to be free as well. With that being said, thank you so much for coming on the platform, my dear brother.
My brother.
You know I go by the name of King Q. I'm in the building. I'm always in the building. I have the #1 videographer and photographer in the building. He goes by the name of Jasper, man. Make sure y'all tap in with my dear brother. You have to understand what's going on. He's always going to tag himself at the end in the credits. Yes, in the credits. Make sure you tap in with my brother Jasper, man, for all of your videography, photographer needs. With that being said, it's your main man, King Q. It's Dell Porter, a.k.a. DunScot. It's the Unselfish Behavior Podcast, and we out.
Sauce me up, whoa, sauce me up, sauce me up, bitch, sauce me up, goddamn, sauce me up, it's drip, sauce me up, bitch.